If you see it.
You want to talk about the Rebirth podcast?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This your boy T-Lo.
Yo, what's Gucci? This your man Tweet.
What up, y'all? DJ Kid Fresh.
What's up? This your boy RL.
And we're next.
And you're rocking with the Rebirth every Monday at 7
Two
p.m.
of us, you know the hits. Rebirth Radio, baby, every Monday, 7 p.m. Shea and Eli. All right, rocking that old school. Peace.
Welcome to the Rebirth on Philly Jams 95.3 FM. I'm your host, Shea Marriott.
And it's your boy, Eli Isabel, a.k.a. The South Got Something to Say. Happy Monday, Shea.
Happy Monday, friend. What's up?
What's good?
How you doing?
I'm doing excellent. I'm here in the name of the Lord. I'm on assignment to change some lives tonight. That's what we do here on the Rebirth.
Don't you start, okay?
I'm just in the spirit of our guests. I'm trying to get into the spirit of our guest tonight. It's a phenomenal woman.
That's what it is.
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I can't complain.
Yeah.
These Mondays be coming by quick, though.
They do. They pull up real fast.
And guess what? We have one more Monday left before we are ending the show for the year.
Ooh, the way you said it, though, it's like it's a wrap.
I know. Well, it's not a wrap, everybody, but we do take the month off of December to regroup and prepare for 2024 because we have some exciting things that's coming your way.
Yes, Lord.
Including another Rebirth Live.
Yes, Lord.
Yes, including another Rebirth Live.
Talk to them. Let them know.
So we're excited about that. But yeah, welcome to the Rebirth, everybody. We have an awesome show tonight.
Yes.
An awesome show.
Yes.
We had one of our guests. She's not just a guest, but she's my sister. We've known each other for probably over 30 years. Over 30 years.
Wow.
So and you guys know her. So once we get the camera on her, you're gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be a good show. Jen and Corey, we all went up to see tonight's conversation live and uncut at the Philadelphia Convention Center, and it was a lot of people. It was a lot of people, y'all. It was about 4,000 plus people in that building. It was a lot, and it was a good experience. I had a chance to really check them out and see what they do, and I appreciate their craft, and it was pretty cool.
You learned some things.
I learned some things, and some things
we can apply
that I think that we're doing just fine with. I'll put it that way. But it was a great time. We had a good time for
That's
sure.
What's up. That's
yeah.
what's up.
What about you? What did you do this weekend?
I ended up going. So Haley had hung out with her friends on Saturday, did the mall. She was picked up by the homies, so we were supposed to be looking for a car for her. And we ended up shopping. I don't know what happened.
What?
we ended up at the Philadelphia outlets. I said, this is coming off the car money. You know that, right? So every penny you spend,
wow.
just know this is off the car money right here. But no, it was a good weekend, man.
Okay.
You ever heard of Torbert Street restaurant?
No.
So it's behind Mickey Moto's and the Watchman Ale House. I never knew it was there.
Oh, I've been hearing about that place. They have good
so
brunch.
Fly.
They're known for their brunch or something, right?
Yeah. We went there and had some drinks and some food. It was really cool.
Nice. The food was good?
Food was good.
Okay.
Food was good. I had a dang it, it had salmon on it. What was it? It was a burger with salmon on it.
A burger? So it was beef and salmon?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It was the bomb. And these buttermilk
Really?
chicken sandwiches.
Okay.
That's my bread intake for the month.
That's
you don't be eating bread, but I couldn't help myself. But yeah, it was good though.
Check it out.
It was good. Yeah, check it out, man.
What up, Instagram? Thank y'all for tuning in. I see you guys. Hey, Andre. He said, greetings from down under. It's been a long time, man. Good to see you.
Welcome back.
Yes. All right, so let's get into it.
Listen, right here, right now. Oh my God. Sean Puffy Combs, my good brother love, P. Diddy. All right, y'all. Unless you've been like under a rock or whatever, you've all known about this whole situation that has come out with P. Diddy and Cassie, also known as Cassandra Ventura. Did you know that was her real name?
Yeah.
All right, so she filed a lawsuit which was just settled recently. Now, some people say it was, and I'm gonna get to what led to this. Mm-hmm. Some people say the lawsuit was settled for $100 million. Some people said $30 million. So I don't know which one. Either way, she made out all right in my book.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard $30 million.
30, and I heard $100 million. Wow. And they say either way, it took him from being a billionaire. But that's okay. I ain't mad at $970 million.
It took him from being a billionaire?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he'll make that.
Yeah, when he settled that lawsuit, he was no longer a billionaire. But anyway, so this whole lawsuit comes after Cassie, former longtime partner whose real name is Cassandra Ventura, filed a lawsuit in New York City. The suit claims that she was trapped by Mr. Combs in a cycle of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking, citing multiple incidents in which he allegedly punched, beat, kicked, and stomped her. The complaints alleges several other claims, including sex trafficking, sexual battery, sexual harassment, and gender discrimination. Puffy, what are you doing?
Wow. Yeah,
what are you doing?
That's crazy.
So they were together for like 10 years.
Yeah, they were together for a long time.
So you endured this for 10 years. And I know, and I only say that because people, I understand it in private or when you're not in the public eye, these things are happening. But you are a public figure with means to get away from this situation. Mm-hmm. Why are you there still?
You said she's a public figure with means to get away from this situation?
Well, you are, enough people know you can say, I need help to a record executive, to a head of a label, to whoever. Somebody can lend a hand, right?
The industry is grimy. The industry is grimy. I can tell you that. I know it was back in the day, and I'm sure it's just as worse now. And she's young. I mean, she was young, right? So, I don't know if it was as easy as, to say, hey, because a lot of those people are paid to be quiet. And so was Shea. They said she had signed a non-disclosure agreement, and then that was up. That's why.
Did that mean I can't leave you, though? Like when that whole thing was happening?
Well, you have to think about when people are being abused. You have to think about the mindset that puts them in, that abuse syndrome that they go through, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, think about it from a therapist standpoint. When we, work with people that have been in abusive relationships, why did they stay? People, they break you down so bad that it's like they gaslight you from the charm and all of that, and then they break you down, and then they build you back up again, and then they break you down, and it's like an addiction, right?
Yeah.
So that's what narcissism looks like as well. So,
And he apparently would video her having sex with other men. Mm-hmm. Like he was on some stuff.
Mm-hmm. So this is all allegedly.
Well.
I'm just saying allegedly because we are on air.
All right. Well, he settled the suit, but his lawyer said that us settling the suit does not admit to any guilt. Mm-hmm. We're just trying to put this to bed and move forward.
Yeah.
But to me, that's really, really crazy that, and from a therapist perspective, I get it. I would need to know her history. Was she abused as a kid? Maybe this is a normal thing for her. Mm-hmm. But if you came into this situation, a healthy, emotionally person, and you allow this, then what is going on here?
Yeah. Like you'd be surprised though what people do, because at some point she was a star. She had a couple hits,
right?
One or two, right? So you'll be amazed what people do for fame, right? I mean, thinking about did you watch that whole documentary of Surviving R. Kelly?
I did.
Okay, yeah. So
those people weren't famous.
No, but I'm talking about how some of the parents.
Oh yeah, that was crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It's crazy, but they have memes up there talking about it's gonna be called Surviving Diddy. Yeah.
Well, he better be careful because Kells went to jail after all of that.
Yeah.
He was free before Surviving R. Kelly, right? Mm-hmm. Am I right? Was he hadn't went to jail yet? Yeah. So who knows? And watch other people come out the woodwork now.
Somebody already did come out.
Another person saying he did something to him.
Yeah. Yup, I can't remember what she said, but I think when I saw it on Instagram, someone had already came out and said something. Yeah, and then somebody said that he brushed up against her or something. I don't know what it was.
I mean, I'd take $1 million. I think he might have nudged me one time at the Fresh Festival back in '95.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow, that's funny.
Yeah, that was hilarious. All right. So, Diddy, man, look, prayers to Cassie. If that happened, Diddy, I mean, there should be consequences other than you getting the opportunity to settle this thing.
Shout out to everybody that's joining us tonight. What up, Priscilla, Ronald, Dwayne, Handy,
Shannon is in the building. What up, dog? So, listen, let's go over this really quick.
What's up, Trinity?
Tell me what y'all think about this.
What?
Can we introduce our guest? So I want to get her thoughts too.
Absolutely. But let me, I have to introduce her the right way. Because, there she is right there. All right, y'all. So all jokes aside, this woman that I'm about to introduce to y'all, she is more than just a friend. She is a sister to me. We've been knowing each other for over 30 years. So I have definitely seen her journey. I'm going to put my glasses on for this one. I have seen her journey and I appreciate it. I have so much respect for you. And you were my big sis. When I moved to Delaware, like, I was just like, this woman is so beautiful and she is like running things, right? I just looked up, like, don't put your business out there. But you know what I mean? I looked up to you. I was like, I want to be like her when I grow up.
And then after some years, you're like, I want to be like that.
But look where God brought you. So, ladies and gentlemen, she is now an author, but she's also a pastor, and she's my friend, and she is my sister. She's the author of her new book, Perfectly Broken. Please put your hands together for Pastor DeLisa Lewis.
Yes, sir. Welcome.
I feel I'm amongst family. I'm already part of the family, so I love you guys. Shea, you have a special place in my heart. We're not only friends. Hey, for a minute, I think I was your manager until you fired me. I was your manager for about 2-3 weeks.
Dang. That's called a hot minute.
She was.
I had no idea what I was doing.
Y'all survived that? Surviving Shea Marriott.
She was in love. She couldn't focus on me. She was in love with Bishop.
Oh, that'll do it. Love will throw you off the rocker.
Yeah, man. But you have been on, you have graced our Rebirth live stage 3 times. 3 times, and I'm telling you, every time you grace it, you set it on fire. You know what I'm saying?
And the bishop.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
So, we love it and we appreciate it. And what I love about you is you've always been a straight shooter. Like, you don't sugarcoat it. You'll be like, and you'll put your eyes on you like, you want to hear what I got to say, and then you'll just do it. So I appreciate that. So, hey. How does it feel to be an author now?
Oh my goodness. It's one of those things where once you start, you realize there's so much more you have inside of you.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was writing and, going back and you're reading and you're editing, there were times that I teared up because it took me back to that place. Yeah. And then there was just that moment of being so thankful of not being there anymore and the journey that I am on, and just to share that with others. I know that's why I went through what I went through.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was just to share it, and I think God knew I could go through it. He was there with me. I didn't feel it at the time, but he was there with me. And he knew that I would be bold enough to talk about it and tell the truth about it.
That's right.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I know he was there with you, girl, because, honey, you probably should even been alive right now. For sure. But I love that because you was like, you were bold enough to tell your story. And you are. Yeah. But it's blessing and it's changing lives. It's helping everybody else.
I didn't realize how much there was in the story. For instance, it's one thing to survive a bad marriage, but to also survive the mental challenges, the depression, and things like that, and to deal with those things as well. It's not just I had a bad marriage and now it's good. No, there was a journey of dealing with the depression and the anxiety and everything that was coming up against me. Yeah. And to go through that, because unfortunately the devil does not play fair. You know, we can all deal with one thing at a time. But when you've been bombarded one thing after another, you start to drown. Yeah. And so I know that my story is one to encourage the person who is drowning right now. The one who feels like she can't make it out. She doesn't know where to turn. She can't even see the light, let alone turn to it. Right. You know, but to just keep moving, just keep going. And so I know that that's what this is about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The title, Perfectly Broken. Yeah. Why'd you pick that title?
Because it was strategic.
Was that your stomach? I'm sorry.
You didn't have to say it.
I'm sure the people can hear it.
You didn't have to say it.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Let them figure it out. And then I could either confirm or deny. I'm hungry.
It was strategic in that there are times when you feel like what you're going through makes no sense. You feel like you're being picked on. You feel like you've been forsaken. You feel like you're alone. But to understand that everything that I've gone through was for a reason. Yeah. And it had to be done the way God allowed it to be done. Right. And it was all strategic just to come to this place. So just like I was perfectly broken, I'm perfectly purposed for victory. And so, but you can't have one without the other.
Right.
You know, we all want victory, but are we broken?
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
When you're going through that storm, were you, for lack of a better phrase, I'm going to say, were you wise enough to see that there is a means to this? Like there's an end to this, that what I'm going through is going to be a victorious thing? Or were you so caught up in the storm you couldn't see your way out of it?
There came a time later in the storm that I realized that I was going to be able to share that, only because someone had shared their storm with me. But in the midst of the storm, no. You're just trying to survive. I wasn't trying to be anybody's hero. I wasn't trying to win anybody to Christ. I was just trying to survive through it. And so that's what my focus was at that time. Yeah. Yeah. You know, a lot of times when you're going through it, all you can see is what's right in front of you. Right. And that's where most people lose it. That's where most people get defeated, because they just get so focused on what they can see that there's no hope for what it could be. And so it's so important that you have hope in front of you. And if it's not your hope, you have to look at somebody else's and put that in front of you, and that be what you strive for.
Yeah, for sure. I remember when I was going through, the breakup of my marriage. I sat down with her. We went to lunch.
Ready.
We went to lunch and we was
ready
talking.
for the word.
She kept saying, because so one of the things I can appreciate it now, but like you said, when you're going through it, you can't. It's hard, because one of the things she kept saying was, don't focus on what it looks like right now. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? This is in my face like all day. How can I not focus on it? Don't focus on what it looks like. And I would hear that in my head, But I understood it and I appreciate it, later. But during the time, you're so stuck in the pain and what's happening and what's going on, it's hard not to focus on that, So, I totally agree. You don't really, in the midst of it, you can't see, how that this is going to be your testimony.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly.
Did you value the information I was giving you when you was going through the storm?
You know what?
I just want to know, because you ain't quoting nothing I said.
All of it's important, though. All the information you gave is important.
Absolutely.
But sometimes there's things that you won't be able to receive right away. Some things have to come. You'll understand more in time. You'll be able to receive more in time.
Right.
Yeah. But all of it is important. Even the stuff that really didn't do you well, you'll learn from it later.
You can use that at some point.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
So we know you personally, but a lot of our listeners may not. So without giving away your book, your whole book, because we want people to go and purchase the book. Perfectly Broken is on Amazon right now. So go to Amazon.com. I know y'all got Prime. It's Christmas season.
Kindle for those. Get the Kindle, and soon it will be on audio for those who don't even like to read. It will be an audio book. Yes.
Okay, nice.
What about Braille for our
I
people
haven't
that
gotten there
can't?
yet.
Okay.
It's coming though.
All my blind soldiers out there, hold on. It's coming.
What?
I'm just saying, we want to make sure everybody get the
Turn
book.
his mic off. Anyway.
My blind soldiers can't get no love out here.
Oh my God.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Somebody gonna be waiting for you at the parking lot.
Well, if you're blind, I'm gonna get away.
Anyway, can you talk about what the book is actually about?
It's about a journey. It's about a journey that deals with things that happened to me prior to marriage, and why I decided to get married in the midst of chaos, and then having to work through all of the chaos to get to where it is now. And it's important because we don't look at where we are when we make certain decisions. One of the things that I said in the book, I talk about broken people making decisions. And when you're broken and you're making decisions, it's not going to end well for you, because you make decisions out of the brokenness.
Right.
You make decisions out of the deficits. And you're looking for someone to fill a deficit that they're not even prepared or equipped to fill.
Yeah, you better.
Nor is it their responsibility.
Nor is it their responsibility.
Yeah.
But we'll put it on them quick.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you say you love me? Well,
Right.
here's all my baggage.
Yep.
Here's my abandonment. Here's my insecurities. Here's all these things that I think. And now I want you to fix it because you said you love me.
Yeah, and it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot.
And if you choose something different, if you say I that's a lot, it doesn't mean that you don't love them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Personally, I feel it just means that you love yourself more. Because, and I think that's the problem. I feel like people get stuck in some of these situations because they want to prove I'm ride or die, I'm there for you, I love you, whatever. But, you know, where's the love for yourself to allow yourself to be, you know, in a place like that?
Also, I tell ladies all the time, if you truly love someone, you will do what's best for them, which in this case would mean let them figure that stuff out for themselves.
Yeah.
Take a step back and allow them to work some things out. You know, you don't love someone, you're proving your love is not in becoming somebody's savior. But we think that's what it is. We think that we're supposed to come in and just save people. And I'm like, no, that's not your
Where
job.
do you think that comes from, though?
Wanting to be needed.
Wanting to be needed. Yeah.
Needing to be needed.
Yeah. I told y'all this was gonna be a good show tonight.
Yeah, and it's like you're willing to put yourself at
Yeah.
risk to meet somebody else's need that you can't even meet.
Right.
Wow. That's
Right.
real talk.
Right.
I
And
think-
it's draining. Go
Do
ahead.
you think
is draining.
that men do that more than women? You think that men have that savior attitude,
Of
or is it
course.
more so women? Some women do too.
Of course, and my husband, who is not here, he calls it the Captain Save a Host syndrome.
Yes, sir. I was gonna say that. Shout out to E40.
But
I'm glad you said it.
But that's what it's called, because you're trying to save someone, and you can't be what they need you to be.
Yeah.
Right.
You can be supportive, you can encourage, but you can't save them.
Yeah.
The best thing you can let them do is go through that journey by themselves. You know, there was a time I hated feeling so alone in the midst of everything.
Yeah.
I felt like I was so by myself. Later, to only understand that I needed to feel that. Because if there was someone that I could have latched on to, I would have.
And it wouldn't allow you to grow in that area.
And it wouldn't have allowed me to grow. And God was like, no, I need you to understand it's me. It's none of them. Husband included. Yeah. It's none of them, it's me.
Yeah.
I think that takes a certain level of maturity, because I know most of us, the average person on the street, if we come out of one situation and we hop right into the next because that looks better, it's a shiny new coin and they seem to be sweet and nice, and we just run to that. How do we, like, what would you say? How do we differentiate that? What would you advise somebody on giving themselves the time to get themselves together before you just jump into something else? Because this looks great and this can be good for you in your mind.
You have to give yourself time. You can't be, for most people, you can't be your own supervisor. You're not ready, you're not equipped. You're broken and now you want to supervise you. That's why I encourage people to get professional counseling. I encourage them to have a spiritual advisor or a mentor, someone that who's outside of you, who can give you some guidance in what would be best for you from the outside. Because if you're broke, what did I say? I said that you will be attracted to your flavor will reveal your lack of discipline.
Talk about that.
Your flavor.
Because that came up on a Rebirth Live.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But it was Bishop that had made the comment. And of course, it just that just took over. Right? That took over. I understand it, right? But please talk more on that. Expand
your
that.
Flavor will reveal
your lack of discipline.
Your lack of discipline.
Okay, and what's funny is that part comes from when Shea and I we're at the club where I met my husband, and so a couple of weeks before I had dated some losers. I was like, I'm calling them losers. I dated some losers, and I was broken, so neither one of us needed to be dating. But anyway, I dated some guys and I was like, this isn't working. You know what? I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to focus on fixing me. I'm going to focus on my children. I got enough to do. I have 3 children I need to raise. I don't need the distraction of a man. I'm just going to work on me. Mm-hmm. And then I'm out with Shea
at Gotham
nightclub.
I'm sure I ran into y'all back in the day. We crossed paths.
And you might have been that one I was gonna beat up and walk into the car, but anyway.
Oh, Lord.
But anyway, so that night, after I had made this promise to myself, because it was what I needed to do.
Right.
I knew it was what I needed to do.
And we talked about it right before we left.
Yes.
Before you left to go to the club?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. What kind of conversation is this before the club?
Listen, no, we're just going to have fun. No, it's light. We're just going to have a good time. Well, he was my flavor. Mm-hmm. And everything I had promised myself went out the window.
Wow.
And I wasn't ready. I was not ready. And that was the door that really just was the straw that broke the camel's back. Mm-hmm. As far as me going into depression, and it wasn't him by himself that took me there, because I was dealing with feelings of abandonment. I was dealing with feelings of insecurity and all that. And so, but he was my flavor.
Yeah, child.
And it's like
I couldn't hold it back either.
I think I referred to him as kryptonite. He was kryptonite,
kryptonite be tripping.
Kryptonite be creeping, and everything else. And so that's what we have to understand. You can't, if you are not disciplined, because the enemy is going to send you your flavor. You won't be attracted to nothing is tempting if it's not tempting.
Right.
So
that's true. Wow.
Yeah.
We made a bet, didn't we?
We did.
I bet you $5 that you would go over there and talk to him.
Yeah.
And she switched right. When I say switched,
I went right over.
She sashayed right over. I was just like, oh Lord.
What was you doing?
Laughing.
No, what was your flavor up in there?
I don't know what was going on with me during that time. I can't remember. I was taking notes.
Oh, class was in session?
Yeah, class was in session.
I was just taking her out so she could have a good time.
And you abandoned her.
She was my idol.
Oh no! Well, now I know because look, there were rules. Even back then, there was rules.
Absolutely.
We came together, we leave together.
Right.
You didn't get the numbers, but who you came with is who you leave.
That's
with.
Right.
So I left that night with Shea. I got his number and went back up the next night.
Back to back?
He was a bouncer. He worked there.
He was a bouncer at the club.
Yep.
Delaware Avenue, right? If I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember going to Gotham and what was the outdoor joint? They had the
Bahama
pool.
Breeze.
Bahama Breeze. Oh my God.
That was Bahama Breeze
Yep.
or Bahama
And then you
Bay?
had
Bahama Bay.
Bahama Bay.
Bahama Breeze restaurant.
Was the drink.
Yeah.
Bahama, and I had a Bahama Breeze at Bahama Bay.
I'm sure we was in the same place at some point in time
Bay,
back in
and
the
then you had
90s.
Vegas. That was
Club
further
Vegas,
down.
yep.
I performed at a lot of those.
I passed out at Club
places.
Vegas.
You know what?
That's a whole other story though. This is about Pastor DeLisa right now. I'm just saying. I'll tell y'all that another
Let's
time.
circle around to that.
Yeah, but it was I've learned a lot in this journey. It's just it's a great thing when you can look back
Yeah.
and learn the lessons. Some of the lessons I've realized even now. Everything isn't revealed while you're going through. Everything isn't even meant for you to understand while you're going through. But in time, as you grow, you'll start to understand, well, why did this happen? Why did that happen?
So when you said when you met Bishop, at that point you had kind of swore off me and you were going to focus on the kids. You were going to avoid the flavor, but the flavor appeared. And you said you were broken at this point. You were trying to regroup. So how did that play into you and him as far as coming together?
It created the most toxic, chaotic relationship you could have.
Did you see toxicity back then as like? Well, we didn't call it that then.
Well, no.
But was it like this is love? This is real love right here.
Love.
That Whitney and Bobby.
Yes.
Y'all got that Whitney and Bobby.
Yeah.
That's what they called toxic love back then. That Whitney and that Bobby.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
And just like we can all sit back and look at Whitney and Bobby and say how toxic that was.
Yeah.
But where are you?
Yeah.
Because the reality is most of us have had that moment.
Right.
Minus the cocaine.
No, most of us have had
I'm
that
saying
moment.
for me. Minus the cocaine.
Okay, let's switch it out. If it's not cocaine, it's alcohol.
It's something else.
If it's
Yeah.
not alcohol, it's porn. If it's not porn, it's
weed.
It's weed. There are many different forms of it, but the chaos, that's universal.
What, because you said porn?
No.
We don't talk bad about porn on this show. This is the Rebirth Podcast. We don't talk bad about porn. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
No, Eli doesn't talk bad about porn.
I do not.
It's not with him.
People got to make a living.
I gotta go back to what you said. We cannot have a serious conversation.
Well, you looked at me like I was just chilling. You like she said porn, and you looked at me like you looking at me for?
No, that was insecurity because I wasn't looking at you for that reason.
Oh, it was about you. No. Oh, my bad. It was. You said it was insecurity.
Okay, so I want to circle back to when you said that you made the decision to get married in the brokenness.
Yes. That was the craziest part.
Yeah.
Because in the middle of us being, it's toxic, it's chaotic, it's dysfunctional, we decided to get married because that's what broken people do. They make dumb decisions in the midst of trying to fix something. We were trying to fix it. That was our answer.
And you thought marriage was going to make it better.
Right? People do that all the time. Yeah.
You feel that way.
And then I talk about that in the book.
Yeah.
We think marriage is going to fix it. And it's not. Matter of fact, as a pastor, one of the things that I tell people when we counsel couples that are looking to be married, understand that while you are dating, the attack is really not there. It is once you enter in the covenant that your covenant will be affected.
Yeah.
The enemy is coming. He does not like marriage. He does not want you on one accord. He wants to do everything he can to break it up.
Wow.
It's amazing. That's why people can live together for years and it'd be great. Get married, and next thing you know, they divorced. I'm like, you were living together for 7 years.
We know somebody like that.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people like that.
Because I know you knew, not you. I'm talking about. We have a mutual friend that was with somebody forever. Had a son. They raised the kids together. Then they got married, and it was a wrap.
And then it was a wrap.
What?
Oh Lord.
Because that's what happens. Not to
Beautiful
mention that I don't care what anybody says. Until you get married, there's a part of their representative that you are meeting.
Yeah.
Wow. Even if you've been just dating for 2 or 3 years, they're still a part of the representative.
It's still a part. You will not get to know the real them, the whole real them, until after you've entered in the covenant. That's why you have to enter in a covenant, because once you meet the real them, then you're gonna be challenged on whether you're gonna stay together or not.
That's unfair. Show me you before. I think I gotta do by that with something too. So it's all right. We made it.
You know what? Women do it. Men do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I learned about being married? How much I like being alone. But after getting married, not being alone like I don't want to be with my family, but I like my little time where I'm alone outside,
and that's okay.
or I'm alone in my little man cave.
Yes, and you need that. But it's no different than those who are single. You know, you won't appreciate the other until you're there.
Yeah.
I appreciated being single.
Yeah. I did too and that was
that was a hell of a time.
Because at one time I remember saying I'm having too much fun being single. This is dangerous. I'm having a good time, but people wouldn't understand. People wouldn't understand my fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so
shit.
I was like,
what?
This don't
Your fun. What was it? It was dangerous? Shoot. Let's talk about that the next time you call. Pastor DeLisa's fun. That was dangerous. That's going to be the title of the show.
I think the misconception is when you're single, people automatically think that you're lonely, and that's not the case.
It's not.
It is not. Like, for me, it was important. After being in a marriage for 16 years, I was single for 6 years after my marriage.
Right.
And because I had never dated.
Right.
You know, I was always in some type of long-term relationship. So being able to date myself and really understand me and get to know me for those 6 years, it was so important.
It is.
It really was. And it was important to my development as to who I am today. Yeah, for sure.
Who you were when you got married, and this is for you too, when you got married, who you were, think back to who you were when you got married. Would you have married you?
Absolutely not. No.
What about you?
And you have to remember, I was married twice.
Go ahead. Okay.
Because I was married and divorced. Mm-hmm. I got married at 20. I got married at 20, and I wouldn't have married me then. Lord knows I wouldn't have married me then, and I wouldn't have married me the second time either.
Yeah, I'll be honest. You was going to answer something. Go ahead.
No. I'll come back. I want to hear what you have to say.
For me, I think when I look back at the person, although I feel like I know that I was a good wife, and my ex-husband will say that, I had a lot of insecurities within my own self, and I think that came from, we kind of can go back and say what certain things came from, and for me, I think, that always came from just seeking the love of my father and not having my dad around, So I always went overboard in my relationships. I was the fixer. I was the savior, because I wanted that. You know what I'm saying? But man, when I realized that everything that I needed, everything that I was seeking, I actually had within myself.
Right.
The love, all of that. It was a game changer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I think that's why it's hard for me to go backwards. Like, there's just certain things I just can't tolerate physically, mentally, emotionally. I was just like, nah, I can't do that,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that is so true. There is a part in the book that probably one of my favorite parts of the book is when I asked the question, how did I get here? How did I get here? And because I found myself in a jail cell.
Like mentally in jail?
No, she was physically in jail. Like, you got the right to remain silent.
in jail.
Oh, jail.
Yes, with the
Jail.
with the silver bracelets.
She said with the silver bracelets.
Yeah, and I had asked myself, how did I get here? And I didn't get there just by that one incident.
Right.
I got there by all the decisions I made leading up.
Yeah.
And one of the things when you're growing, when you want to grow, you have to ask yourself, how did I get here? How did I get here?
Had you asked yourself that question prior to being arrested? Had you ever sat and asked yourself that question?
No.
So it took that moment for you to try to gain that clarity.
Because for me, I wasn't raised that way. I had two brothers who were police officers.
Oh, wow.
A mom who was a warden. To me, that was my low. That was my I'm like, how in the world did the girl who went to St. Peter's, St. Elizabeth's, Golden Beacon, like, how did I get here?
Wow.
Bella Prison is named after her.
Which one?
Bella.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's your mother?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's a Black History fact. I should look that up and announce it. Next week, I'm going to talk about your mom.
Oh, okay. But,
in a good way.
But how do you get here? How do you
Wow.
get here?
So the how do you get here? And I think the one thing that we always miss too, especially if we're not the ones that did the offense, is what role did I play in this story?
Yeah.
What role? Because there's always a role that you play.
That's right.
Even if it's just I didn't love myself enough.
Exactly.
That I settled, or I what role did I play in that story? Because you got to take accountability for your part.
Yes.
Your part in the story.
Because I could have easily said, well, I got here because he did this. I could have easily said that. But the reality was, no, what got me here was me thinking it was okay to be involved with someone when I was broken.
Wow.
That's how I got
I got here.
As young people, though, we just, most of us just don't have that foresight.
I was not young.
Okay.
I was 30.
That's still kind of young. If you've been through some stuff, then you're not as mature as you should be at 30. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's true, because when you go through things, people would think that normally makes you mature, but you stop growing when you're going through.
It's like going to jail.
Yes. Or smoking weed, or drinking, and I know y'all. I know, but most people, when I'm not talking the Friday night thing. I'm talking about when you are drinking and you have you're consistently checking out, so you can feel good. When you start using mind-altering, mood-changing substances, you stop growing, and so most people don't think that they've checked out, but you're still in 6th grade.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's nothing worse than being 50. My husband and I were just talking about, you're 50 years old and you're still in 6th grade.
Yeah,
wow.
Absolutely.
But there's more of that going on now than ever before.
Well, I mean, think about it. Trauma is on an all-time high. There's a lot of trauma. Yes. Everybody has trauma. And, psychologically, when we talk about the psychosocial stages, whatever that age was that you had trauma, that's where you emotionally stop growing, right? So
Absolutely.
If something happened to you at 10 years old, then and you didn't get that therapy at 10 years old, and you didn't get that help, you might be 40 years old, but you still have that 10-year-old version of you inside that is still traumatized.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's why you have a lot of grown men and women with little boys and little girls' reactions and behaviors.
Yes. That's good.
From trauma.
That's true.
Yeah.
It is so true.
So, you said that it's imperative to seek help.
Yes.
Okay. At what point did you say, I need to speak to someone. I need therapy. I need help.
Well, when we were going through the arguments and we were just at each other, we decided we were going to go to counseling. However, it took a while to find a counselor that could handle us.
Oh, dang.
Because we would go in and, I mean, we would just go have the session and we would just go at each other in the session. And the therapist is like, and nothing would get settled. Yeah. And so it wasn't until I found my therapist that I could connect with. Right. And he saw me a couple of times, and then he brought Rob in, and then I said, well, I want you to do both, and he said, I can't. So he suggested that Rob see someone, and I continue to see him. Yeah. And so at that point, you know, we focused on ourselves. Yeah. But in focusing on me, I hit a bottom, and I talk about it in the book. Y'all have to get the book, but I have that
available
moment,
on Amazon.
Yep. I had that moment where I lost it. Like I lost control. I felt like I was losing my mind, and I knew it was imperative for me to get help. I was not going to get out of that place that I was in mentally and emotionally without help. And so I got the help that I needed. It was the best thing in the world. And I know it was God. And a lot of people will say, well, if you got God, you don't need the professional. No, God gave me the professional. Right, yeah. Right. He set it up that way. And absolutely. So it was because I couldn't even, God at that moment wasn't in the picture. Right. Because you can't hear God when you have all these thoughts going on. You need something and somebody to slow your thoughts down enough so that you can hear. Wow, and so, that's true. You know, I tell people all the time, I'm like, no, it's not either one or the other. You need both.
Did you guys at some point, or at what point did you guys come back and have counseling together? Was it a while before you could even work back to being in a room together in a therapy session?
By that time, we had a couple of sessions with our pastor, and that was it. Yeah, I think we had 2 or 3 sessions with our pastor. After that, it wasn't necessary. Right, okay. And I say it wasn't necessary, not because our pastor was still pastoring us, but we were, by that time, I had mentors, I had a professional, he had a professional, he had mentors, and so we were really focusing on each other so much that we really didn't come back together until we had dealt with a lot of our issues. So we had been separated physically for a while. Okay. Yeah.
So you said manipulative individuals will exploit your vulnerabilities. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Just like your flavor will reveal your lack of discipline, the enemy will bring those that will exploit your vulnerabilities. Those things, it's like the abuser. He always finds the one that he can abuse. I have never attracted a man who is physically abusive. I have never. Now I've attracted a whole lot of losers, but not the physically abusive one. Right. And that's because that's not my vulnerability. Because if you swing on me, I'm gonna swing back. That's just how that goes. Because like a really good fight is a turn on. Let me change.
That means he loves me.
Used to be a turn on. See, when you're chaotic, a really good fight, right? That's just foreplay.
I can tell you. We're from Bobby and Whitney to I can tell you.
But it's amazing how people don't. I have to say this because I am who I am. That people don't understand the spiritual aspects of relationship, and your relationship is designed. God wants you in relationships that glorify Him. The enemy wants to destroy you, so he will send you what looks like something that will build you, but is clearly meant to destroy you. And so he uses your vulnerabilities. He uses those deficits. Those are holes. Those are walls. Those are doors that he enters into. So for instance, the one who is very insecure, the guy will come with every kind of compliment. Oh yeah, he gonna give you a lot of attention, but he's a control freak.
Right.
So you're looking at the attention, not understanding that he's bringing in someone who's here to manipulate you. And so that's why it's so important that you get the help that you need to become whole, so that there's less deficits.
Right. This is a lesson right here.
Absolutely. Told you we weren't playing tonight.
So go on and get that book on Amazon.
Go get the
on
book.
Kindle.
On Kindle. I'm telling you, it's gonna bless you. Because everybody is dealing with something. To what extent, it's different extents. But people are, especially in relationships.
Yeah.
And so you got to decide, do you really want to fix it? Do you really want to fix it? Or do you want to be a victim in it? You got to decide. I decided I was going to fix this. I was going to have what I wanted.
Right. Is there ever a time where you would tell someone as a pastor, you know what, it's time to walk away? Or is that not an option from a Christian perspective? Or you know what I'm saying? From the perspective in which you would speak to somebody. Is that an option?
No. It's not. Now I'll say this to you. I'll tell, because as a pastor, I would never tell anyone to leave or stay. That's always your decision. However, what I will say is, if you focus on you and you grow to be what God has called you to, and you invest in yourself, one or two things will happen. Either he'll change or he'll go. And if he decides to go, you off the hook.
Can you elaborate a little bit more when you say focus on yourself? Because what does that look like? How do one do that? Because we said earlier, when I was going through my breakup and stuff, that was one of the things you had said, and it's so hard when you have all of these distractions going on, and the person is still doing you dirty and It's hard to focus on yourself. Now I get it. I learned how to do that.
Right.
But for people that are listening and don't know, what does that look like? Can you break it down?
The first thing you have to decide is who you're going to follow. You have, because you in and of yourself, you really shouldn't even trust your thoughts at that point, because your thoughts got you in this. So you need either a professional or someone who has what it is you desire, and make them your mentor. You have to be open to surround yourself. You have to create a bubble for yourself to insulate yourself from others. And so for me, I cut a lot of people off during that time. Even people who were friends, family. I had to I had to hear, because for us, for believers, transformation, it happens through what you hear and what you're exposed to. So I had to change what I was exposed to. I only listen to certain people. When I say listen, I mean listen to certain people. I put myself in certain rooms where I needed to get what I needed to strengthen me, to hear about how good I am, to have people who were willing to pour into me. I made it all about me. We make it all about everybody else all the time, and then we're depleted. So you have to, this is your one time to be selfish.
Right.
Yeah.
And say, you know what? Because if I don't focus on me, I won't be good for the kids. I won't be good for anybody, including myself.
Yeah.
So I have to take that moment. I have to you need a therapist. You need a mentor. You need to stop watching trash TV. You don't have time for that.
And listening to it.
Yes. You need to read some books.
Yeah.
You need to listen to some music. You need to look. Even though this came later, just about 6 months ago, it seemed like for 3 months, I listened to what's that motivator? The hip hop, Eric Thomas.
Oh yeah.
I was in Aaron Thomas for 3 months straight because I needed that. It was really about I needed that motivation. So I didn't have time for foolishness.
Right.
I wasn't hanging out with girlfriends that didn't have what I wanted. I was focused on me.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to cut some people off. You're gonna have to create that bubble for yourself. You might need to write it down. What does the bubble look like? And then, because sometimes when you just think about it, it's hard to really focus and create a plan. Write that down. No, this is what I'm going to be doing. This is what I'm going to be focusing on. Sometimes you need conferences. Sometimes you know if you're broke, you need to go to a conference on finances.
Yeah.
Focus on you.
So one thing, let me ask you this. So you said you want to create that bubble, and you may have to cut some of the girlfriends off and things of that nature. How do you go about it when it's family? When it's your mom or your aunt or whoever, like
cut them off.
That's it.
I cut them off.
Because that's harder sometimes, right?
I didn't say stop loving them.
Right.
But you can minimize your time with them.
Boundaries.
Yeah, that's all. It's like, okay, nah, I can't come over for that event. Not because I know what's going to happen at that event.
Right.
So no, I'm not coming. I got some other things I'm working on right now. I love you, but I can't be there for that.
You know what my saying is, right?
Which one?
When you say yes to everyone, you say no to yourself.
Yes.
But when you say no to other people, you're saying yes to yourself.
Exactly.
That is
So
true.
I think that keeps me on track. You know what I'm saying? Because if you are a person that genuinely wants to help and you want to show up for everybody, it's just like, but I always think about that. If I'm saying yes to them, then I'm telling me no.
Yeah.
And that's not fair. That's not fair to me. So that's a good way to try to, yeah. If you guys have any questions, this is the time to drop your questions in the comments. Shout out to everybody that's joining us on Instagram. I usually don't go live on Instagram a lot, but shout out to you guys that's joining us.
Shout out to the Facebook fam.
Shout out to the
Nyesha
Facebook
Jenkins,
fans. Absolutely.
Tasha LaQueen, Sherry Monet, Dawn Michelle Collins. Thank you all for tuning in.
Yes.
Shannon Myrick, my guy.
Yep. Thank you guys for tuning in. Shout out Eman.
Miss
Shout
Eileen.
out. Hey Sharon, how you doing? Sharon from Violent. Thank you for tuning in, love.
Violent in the house.
That's right, V-Town all day.
You from Violent?
No.
Oh.
From Wilmington.
Oh. And y'all met as young women. How'd y'all meet?
Skating.
rink.
Ellsworth Skate Rink.
There's now a carpet cleaning place.
Listen, but for many years, we put it down.
Many years.
We put it down. Yeah, for
is it?
sure.
Oh.
Yes.
So, what message do you want people to walk away with from reading your book? Like, what's the takeaway?
The takeaway is focus on healing those parts of you that you know are broken. Focus on those things. The other thing is, how bad do you want your relationship? You're going to have to be willing to do whatever it takes. But the question you have to first ask yourself is, do you want it? See, a lot of people, they're flip-flopping. They don't know. If you talk to people, they're like, well, do you want it or not? Because I can't even begin to tell. If you want it, then I can work with you. If you don't want it, I can work with you. But until you make a decision,
One of them.
Yeah,
one
for
or the
sure.
other,
Yeah.
that flip-flop, if you flip-flop in life in your decisions, you'll flip-flop in life.
Yeah. You're right. Well, we have a lot of people joining us on Instagram. What up, Michelle? Michelle Washington.
Hello, say hey.
DeLisa said, hey, girl, hey. Yeah, guys. That's a good one. You got to figure out if you want it or not.
Yes. You might have to take a step back. Look, you might have to write down the pros and the cons.
Wait a minute. Now this is a question that I think a lot of people struggle with when they decide to stay in a relationship. Okay? You know what Ray said. Most of the men is just like, well, Dad, when is she gonna get over it? When is she gonna heal? You don't get a chance to put a time frame on my healing. So how do people begin to try to heal their relationships, but also understand that trust has to be rebuilt at the same time.
Okay, so if you're talking, we have to break this down. Or if we're talking about marriage, and there's been infidelity,
right?
And you decide you now want to work on this. First of all, let me say this. I think you need to take a step back and then decide whether you want to work on this.
Does that mean separation temporarily? What does that mean? When you say take a step back, what does that look like?
Depending on how toxic it is, you may need to separate.
Okay.
Sometimes it may just be Bobo was being real stupid. And so it was a moment. It's not just a moment because it leads up to that. But if you think it's one incident or it's not just been a habit or whatever, then you have to make a decision. However, at that moment, if he's willing to work on it with you, then he has to understand, and that's why you need a counselor for him to understand that he can't put a time limit on how long it's going to take you. However, you can't go into it and hold him to what happened.
Right.
Either you're going to forgive him or you're not. And forgiving is an instantaneous event. It is not I'm going to forgive him over time. No, because forgiveness is not about forgetting it. It's not about it not happening. It's not about the emotion not still being real for you. It's about not penalizing him for what he's done. So if you're going to stay, when you decide to stay, you have to agree that you are no longer going to continue to hold him to that. As he agrees to be patient, and normally it comes with boundaries. What will make you feel comfortable? If I need to check in every 2 hours for a period of time, that's what I'm going to have to do. Now, if he's not willing to do anything, then you need to make you might need to make a different decision.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Most of us say we forgive, but we really don't. I think we put that word in the atmosphere, and then we are still beating a person over the head with that situation.
Because they didn't forgive. The definition of forgive is different. But when you biblically forgive, it's not about emotion. It's not about feeling. You can have all the feelings and emotions and still forgive someone.
Do you think that, because you said, what if I need you to check in, every 4 hours or whatever for a period of time? Isn't forgiveness sometimes used for control? Because you did this to me and I'm going to forgive you, so you need to do. Isn't that a form of control sometimes? It could be, depending on the person.
No. True forgiveness does not have control because he's not being, there's no penalty to it.
Okay.
Now, because we're human, he should want to make you feel comfortable.
Right.
Or as comfortable as he can. Because he's really not going to be able to do everything to make you forget. That's where you got to work on yourself.
Yeah, right. Because you're going to have triggers.
You're going to have triggers.
You're gonna have those triggers.
I used to be typing at work, and I would get a thought. I wonder what he doing. Where he at?
No.
And you have to talk to the thought. You have to speak to that thought and say, you know what? I know he's where he is. I know he's doing what he's supposed to do. I know he's a mighty man of God. I know he loves me like Christ loved the church, and he gave himself for it. And you speak those things, but you got to believe that.
Deborah Marshall Kim said, amen to forgiveness, being instantaneous. That's how Jesus forgives us. Praise the Lord.
Yes.
Thank you, Deborah.
All day. Daily, all day.
Daily, all day. But then, and we're supposed to be like Jesus. But then we don't want to forgive. But if the word says, if we don't forgive others, that doesn't mean you can forgive everybody but your husband who cheated on you. There's no
so we're quick to forgive others.
We're quick to forgive others.
Yeah.
But I would say the biggest problem is we don't forgive ourselves.
There you go.
That's the biggest problem that I find with most people, especially women. They don't forgive themselves. They hold themselves to such a standard that they almost a lot of times will start to believe that they deserve the treatment they get.
Wow.
Because they haven't forgiven themselves. I had to forgive myself for a lot, and I did. Thank God.
Amen.
Because if I didn't, I would think that I deserved a lot of what I would get.
Yeah, for sure.
We definitely have to be better at forgiving. I think that's one of our non-strengths. That's something that we don't carry or hold well.
Yeah.
Especially if we feel like we've been wrong.
Yeah.
And I'll give you, I know we wanted to wrap it up, we get close to time, but I had a friend, his wife cheated on him with this dude, right? So me and my other boy, we were so mad on his behalf, and we saw the dude one time, and we was gonna get him, right? And then, so we told him about when we saw him, we was about to get him, and he was like, no, chill, it's like an event, you can't do that. So we telling him, and he was like, yo, nah, I already forgave him. We was like, what do you mean you forgave him? Like, this was your man, and he messed with your wife. He was like, I had to forgive him for myself. I said, well, why you didn't tell us that then? Because we were still not forgiving him yet. You got to let us in on this. We was like, you don't forgive him. He was soft-aired. You know, like, what you forgiving him for? He did you wrong. You never confronted him. You never did nothing. This was a dude you had in your house around your kids.
Yeah.
How do you, I don't know. I guess in time, maybe.
In time. Well, you can forgive him. Like, emotionally, I'm sure. And even now, I'm sure he gets thoughts. But the reality is, if you allow that to eat at you, you'll destroy yourself.
Yeah. Well, he was eating at us, and he didn't tell us to forgive him.
Exactly.
We was mad. We was like, hold on, we almost fought this dude.
Yeah.
And you over here on a peaceful journey and ain't telling us. We have to run into him. You talking about, I forgave him. Like, what? I'm going to call him and talk to him.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. That's good. So, you have a book signing coming up.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I want everybody to be able to first go get your book. Will they be able to purchase your book at the book signing?
Yes, they will be able to purchase it there, but they can get it on Amazon if they want and bring it and I'll sign it.
Okay.
But it is December the 9th.
Yes.
Saturday, December the 9th at 219 North Market Street.
Yes.
It's gonna be bananas. We're just gonna celebrate and just enjoy the moment. I'm really looking forward to it. So, and those that may have some questions, I also want to put out there that I do coach wives. I tend to coach them for 6-week sessions at a time. I cater the coaching to whatever their issues are, because every wife has different issues. I mean, it could be a plethora of things. So we do 6-week coaching. I have that available. You can go to my website at DeLisaLewisMinistries.com and sign up there for that as well. You can send me an email and we can link up there. But and also, can I say I have a conference coming up?
Yes, girl.
Talk about it.
Tell the people.
I am built for this. Relentless. The theme is relentless.
Yes.
You've got to be relentless for the things that you want. Nothing is coming easy. And you're going to have to go out and take it. You're going to have to be relentless. And so that is April the 27th, 2024. It will be held at the Hilton Hotel in Christiana, Delaware.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You can go on eventbrite.com and register. And you can go to our website at transformedbyfaith.live to register. Right now we have a Black Friday special going on, so you can it's an early bird special ticket if you go ahead and register between now and Tuesday after Thanksgiving. So I'm telling you, we have Pastor Tanya Hall from Tampa, Florida, who will be coming in. Let me tell you, she's going to break up the ground. She's going to break up the ground. That's all I got to say. I'm telling you, it's going to be bananas. And we have Pastor Dana Root from Word of Life. I'm telling you, it is going to be bananas. And of course, yours truly. So you definitely want to go ahead and register. Seating is limited because it is at the Christiana Hilton. So you want to get your tickets as soon as possible. Bring your girlfriends. I'm telling you, it's life-changing. And we do have a few vendor spots, just a few vendor spots available. So if you're interested in vending, you can also do that on eventbrite.com.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
Look at you, girl. That's right.
I got a lot going on.
Big
You
bags.
do. You booked and busy.
Yes.
Booked and busy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm so proud of you.
Yes.
Your journey, because like I said, I have had the pleasure of watching you grow into who you are today, and I'm just
Don't make me cry.
I'm so excited for where you're going and everything that you have accomplished. And I mean, you guys have marriages that win. I'm built for this. Wives that win. You know, all of these things, and it's needed. It is so needed, because it's really not much out there that people can actually tap into. Right? I mean, I've sent people to
and I sent people to you.
And she said, you know what I'm saying? She sent people to me, I sent people to her, you know? But that's what it is. And again, I just wish you nothing but love, success.
Absolutely.
And you know, however we can support here, we will definitely do that. Guys, make sure you get the book. I'm telling you, it's going to be a great read.
Yes.
Mine's is coming, so you got to sign mine's when we go to dinner.
Okay.
Go to Amazon.com and pick up your book, Perfectly Broken. Perfectly
also,
Broken.
once you read the book, please go back on and give a review.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's important.
Yeah, that's going to be important. Okay. All
Can
right.
I just say one thing before we wrap? I haven't yet. I've been around you guys probably 4 or 5 times. You and your husband, Bishop Rob. I've never been around you guys and didn't learn something.
I know.
So I just want to say thank you, because there's some people I'm around. I'll be around a lot of dumb folks sometimes. I'll be like, this is not working for me. So I just want to say thank you, you guys, and give Bishop Rob my
I was
my
done
love,
when he went and
for
laid
sure.
on his shoulder.
Like,
the Rebirth
he
line.
touched my heart. I had to just go there. I turned into a little kid.
I have to. Can I say this real fast?
Yeah, of course.
I have to, and I don't want to cry because I don't know if this is hormones or what with this.
Girl, I'm going through it too. I know too. It's like you cry at the drop of the hat.
But you know, as much chaos as we went through, I would not be here right now if it weren't for him. And he was the one who introduced me to God in this relationship that I have with him. And he has taken me on a journey, and he has always believed in me. And you know, I am just so thankful that I have a husband who supports everything that I do. I mean, not just go ahead and do it. I mean, he puts the money behind it. He puts the time behind it. And he's not here, but I'm so thankful. He even told me just get off your job and stay home. So I'm just thankful for him.
Yeah.
So I just want to give him some kudos.
Yes, shout out to Bishop Rob. Absolutely. So if you wanted to know how the story ended, y'all, they are still together and they are happily married.
26 years.
26
we just
years.
Celebrated 26 years.
Congratulations.
That's what's up.
Happy anniversary.
Thank
No
you.
Let
doubt.
me tell you, there is a God.
Yes.
Honey, there is a God. 26 years. Thank you so much for
Get the book,
blessing
get the
the
book.
mic. Get the book.
Yes,
Absolutely.
get the book.
Get the book. And if you guys want to get in contact with Pastor DeLisa, if you want some one-on-one coaching for your marriages, your relationships, and all of that, you want to reach out to her at Wives That Win?
Actually, they can. The best way is through transformedbyfaith.live. They can send me an email right through the website.
Transformedbyfaith.live.
And I will get right back to them.
And Perfectly
Perfect.
Broken coming, the Braille version for my blind soldiers. Y'all hang in there. Top of the year, we're gonna get that out there for y'all.
Oh, wow. Wow. Thank you guys for tuning in, Pastor DeLisa. Thank you so much. We love you so much. Thank you guys for tuning in. Everybody that has tuned in on social media, make sure you guys follow us. We're on all platforms at Rebirth U Podcast. At Rebirth, the letter U Podcast. You can find us on all platforms. We are on all podcast platforms now. So I like to say wherever you get your podcasts.
You can say that now.
Well, exactly. You can find Rebirth. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for supporting our show. Thank you, Pastor DeLisa. And until next week will be our last show for the year, because we are going to take a break and get prepared for 2024. We have some amazing things coming. So thank you guys. And until next week, you have a blessed week. Good night.
Peace.
Good night, guys. Thanks for tuning in.